Hey there everyone, I'm Meteorologist Jennifer Lambers here with an update, a little bit more in-depth one right now on what we currently have going on in the tropics. Hopefully you are watching so far for this afternoon. If you are, let me know where you are. Let me know what you're seeing outside right now, because as we were taking a look at the Bayway, continuing to see some heavy rain showers out there. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Right now we did just have a new update from the National Hurricane Center. We'll dive in on everything for the tropics with Marco and Laura, and also everything that we're seeing locally so far. Now, taking a look out at the Bayway right now, where is downtown? Well, we're seeing a lot of that heavy rainfall so far for today, and that's really what we've been seeing so far. That and some winds are the biggest story so far for this afternoon, just locally on the Gulf Coast so far. Now, as we check in right now on what's currently going on with Marco. Now, again, this is a brand new update. It just came out at 1 p.m. and it's weakening. So a great thing to see. Those sustained winds right now, only 40 miles per hour. Just barely keeping on to that tropical storm strength. So we're going to continue to see Marco weaken even further as it enters into a high shear environment. And this is going to be a good thing to see. Now, I did see someone just asked about that last shot that I had up. This is going to be the Bayway, so this is going to be the Daphne side. So normally, so this is looking west from Daphne towards downtown Mobile, just showing the Bayway, and you can't really see much. Normally we have the bay, the skyline, but can't really see much there. Now, let's go ahead and check in on the latest tropical track that we do have for Marco. And as you can see, this latest advisory, it barely has it sticking onto that tropical storm strength right before it makes that landfall approach. We're expecting it to be that tropical depression. So a very weak storm. That's a great thing to see as it heads closer towards New Orleans and making that landfall approach. And then as it moves further into the Texas state line and just into inland Texas, we will see it weaken even further, and from there just dissipate. So very short-lived storms. What Marco's going to have the remnants of it move over Texas, and from there just die down a little bit. Let's go ahead and check in on Laura, because here, different story. We have Laura, who is strengthening right now. Those sustained winds 60 miles per hour, picking up in intensity and in strength as it moves off of Cuba and into the Gulf here soon. So within this evening, we will begin to see Laura move closer towards the Gulf of Mexico, and we're expecting Laura to pick up that hurricane strength. Now remember, 74 mile per hour sustained winds is when it does pick up that hurricane category 1 strength, and that movement right now west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. As we check out the latest track, again, this brand new advisory just coming out, it still has it picking up that Cat 2 strength by the time it approaches closer towards that landfall, but we might not see that hurricane status get picked up until tomorrow. So just something to keep an eye on with Laura. Moving into very favorable environment for this development. It's low shear. Also, we had a ridge of high pressure just off of Georgia and South Carolina that's lifting. So it's meaning that Laura has this warm Gulf water, so no shear environment. Very favorable for that development further. And also something to be keeping an eye on is the models and the recent runs. Zooming in closer to where that landfall is. Luckily, we're outside this cone, so it's a good thing. But latest models, as you can see, that Cat 2 strength at 105 mile per hour, they have it even stronger than that. So something to keep in mind, something to keep an eye on, is that we could potentially have an even stronger storm out of Laura. And by that, I mean that we could potentially have a Cat 3 out of it. So really something that we need to monitor. We are outside of that, but there's still some potential on that cone heading further off to the east, that if it does shift closer towards New Orleans, then we would be getting the effects of that on that front right quadrant. So that's just going to mean that rough surf, also those heavy winds and gusty winds and heavy rainfall within it. So we'll really start to keep an eye on everything that is part of Laura, and as it makes that closer approach, and if it does shift within that cone at all, because again, that landfall isn't going to be until Wednesday, so we're still 2 days away from the time Laura will make that landfall. That was the track from Marco. Didn't want that, but let's go ahead and check in on these rainfall amounts so far, because as you can see further off towards our east, that's where the big bulk of this precipitation has been so far. So if you're in Fort Walton Beach, Destin, Pensacola, Milton, you're probably tired of the rain so far. For this morning, it feels like it's been constant, and that's because it has. We've been tracking these showers so far for today, and if I use this little query tool, then I can go ahead and check out some of those rainfall amounts. So Gulf Shores right now, just shy of an inch. Mobile, just 0.3 inches, but closer towards Pensacola right now, 4 inches of rainfall. I'm going to go ahead and do this black speck just off the coast of Fort Walton Beach just to see how much that's picked up. Over 10 inches of rain have fallen in the Gulf of Mexico just from this system. And as we move closer towards Fort Walton Beach, just shy of 5 inches, and moving closer towards Crestview, over 5.5 inches of rain. So in case you have a rain gauge at your house, in case you're in these areas, send me a picture. I'd love to share that. So far for this morning, I have a rain gauge at my house on the eastern shore. Probably not going to be showing that much. Probably just about 1/4 of an inch at my house so far. So not seeing as much rain, but also I'm going to go ahead and go back to this picture because it's really showing how much rain is falling in Mobile and Daphne and also Fairhope now. So we're starting to see this rain move even further towards the west and towards the north. So northwest is starting to move into Mobile County. Just more of it starting to get some of that activity. It's been quiet. We've been seeing blue skies in a lot of places today. I know Pascagoula has even seen blue skies so far for this morning. Let's go ahead and move on because I want to talk about the wind shear. This is something that we've been paying attention to with both of these storms, and you can see that ridge of high pressure just over the Atlantic, that's what's driving these storms. So they go within it, and that's why Marco has kind of been, there we go, there it is up. So this is going to be that high shear. So that we have that ridge of high pressure just off the Atlantic. This has kind of been deflecting the storms just slightly. Marco, a very weak system, so it's easy to do, and it's been riding that ridge of high pressure just further off towards our west, and it's been driven into that high shear environment. Now that low pressure trough is bringing in that differing wind speeds, which is what shear is, and this is something that tropical storms don't like. It tears them up, and it's just not good environment for them. So Marco entering into that shear environment, that's going to be that bright, pretty bluish green color. But by the time Laura enters into the Gulf of Mexico, that shear not going to be there. That ridge of high pressure, it's going to be lifting. So that's why Laura is entering into a favorable environment. That shear is going to lift by the time we get to Wednesday, and that ridge of high pressure not going to be steering it as much. So it is something that we do need to keep an eye on as it makes that Gulfward approach. Let's go ahead and talk about our severe weather risk for today. Now this has just been updated recently in about the past 2 hours. That's going to be that SPC outlook. So we're under a slight risk in southern Mobile, Baldwin counties, including Okaloosa County, also other counties further towards the Panhandle, just extending towards Panama City Beach. And what this means is that that's going to be that 2 out of 5 risk zone. And with this, we are monitoring the potential for some of those isolated water spouts, but they're not going to be the fair weather ones. They're going to be the stronger ones that can go further on land and be dangerous. So just something to keep in mind that an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out of the picture so far for today. So make sure you're staying tuned. Make sure you have the Fox 10 News app. Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith along with Meteorologist Matt Barentine will be in soon this afternoon to just monitor this risk of severe weather that we are in for today. Other areas including Jackson County and central Baldwin and Mobile County, along with Escambia County and Alabama, all included in that marginal risk, that 1 out of 5. Then the other areas, general thunder, just means you have the potential to see some of those thunderstorms, gusty winds, frequent lightning, all within the picture for today. But talking about those risk zones, mainly going to be the wind and also that isolated tornado risk for today. Let's go ahead and talk about models, because this is going to be that Laura model. So jumping around just a little bit with what we have going on. And I do want to talk about these models because a lot of them are in agreement of that westerly track, which is great to see. They were struggling really hardcore when we were watching them earlier. They didn't really know how to handle having 2 systems in the Gulf, but luckily as we approach closer, they're all starting to get that agreement of heading towards that Louisiana and Texas state line. But what we do have to monitor is Laura potentially strengthening even further. So we'll continue to just keep an eye on these models, but again, that westerly track is what they're all in agreement of. Just watching the potential for that strengthening. Let's go ahead and check out our buoys because we've been monitoring these today with the winds that we've been seeing, the waves. Right now the waves looking a little bit better off that Orange Beach buoy. Water temperature is 84 degrees, so very warm. And then those wind gusts getting up to 31 miles per hour. Checking on off Dauphin Island, those wind gusts still 31 miles per hour there. Wave height still 10.5 feet, so pretty breezy out there and not really going to be the best beach day. But let's go ahead and check out top gusts just across the entire area. So far Mobile just shy of 40 mile per hour wind gusts, and also in Brookley Field 30 mile per hour, and then Destin 24 miles per hour along with Gulf Shores. Seeing those gusty winds, probably breezy out there too, and a lot of those wind gusts coming in for this afternoon. Checking in on what we have going on locally, starting to see more of that precipitation just shift further towards the west. But let's go ahead and talk about the alerts that we have right now. This is what we currently have. It's going to be that flash flood watch right now for Baldwin, Escambia, George, Mobile counties. That's going to be in effect until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So bringing a lot more of that rainfall in. Also a tropical storm warning further off towards our west, but Jackson County, Mississippi still within that until Thursday morning. Actually, even just saw that update just briefly there that a lot more places have now been taken out of that tropical storm warning. So Jackson, Mississippi just taken out of that tropical storm warning. Now let's go ahead and zoom in closer right now because we're seeing a lot of rain, but not so much that lightning activity, which is good so far. Panama City Beach, just way off to our east, is the only place so far seeing this lightning. Fort Walton Beach, Crestview, Milton, Molino, all seeing some heavier precipitation, but like I said, it's constant. So regardless of it being heavy or not, you're probably already sick of the rain this morning. And unfortunately, we have more heading on into this afternoon. So let's go ahead and check out our futurecast. As you can see, by this afternoon, in case you are in Escambia County, Baldwin County, and picking up your kids around this time, make sure you have the umbrella handy and the rain jacket because you will be needing it by 4 p.m. Still tracking these showers for this afternoon. This is going to continue on into the evening, so still starting to see a lot of this rainfall and precipitation. It's going to stick around overnight tonight for your Monday night and into your Tuesday morning. And by the time we get to Tuesday morning at 6 a.m., if you're heading out the door, going to work, still going to rain showers. So something to keep in mind. For tomorrow morning, just add on extra time for your commute. You may need it. Tracking those rain showers tomorrow morning. Get that rain jacket handy, that umbrella handy, because you will find yourself needing it. And also a big reminder that if those wipers are on, headlights on too. Now checking out our tropical headlines. We do have Marco impacting today, Laura impacting Wednesday. We're expecting the high tides, the rough surf, a lot of rain, and that potential risk for some isolated tornadoes. I'm going to go ahead and take one last look outside, looking just slightly better. You can see a little bit more of the bayway, but still tracking a lot of rain out there so far for this afternoon. So just make sure you're driving safe. Again, headlights on if the wipers are on, and I'm just hoping that everyone will stay safe out there so far for this afternoon. Going ahead and updating the Facebook Live. Unfortunately, I have to always refresh it to see the comments ever since a new update. So just checking in if they'll load, which they might not. There we go. Oh, there we go. Now they're loading. There we go. Perfect. Ruby says that it's cloudy. Dawn says it's partly sunny in Fairhope. Addison's watching in Lucedale, Mississippi. Carissa in 8 Mile says that it's sunny. Hello to Beverly watching from Cedar Hill, Texas. Hello. Kay and Theodore says that it's sunshine and just lightly windy. Ruben says that Sims is sunny right now. Hello to Matt in Lucedale, who says that it's currently windy. Savannah in downtown Mobile says that it is windy but not. Giselle and Theodore says it's also sunny. Charles says Marco is just like fall and spring thunderstorms. I think you're right, almost a little bit more calmer than some of those ones that we tend to see during the spring. Pat says it's sunny in Theodore. Savannah says that it's raining where she is. Patricia also agrees that 8 Mile is cloudy. Jennifer says Midtown is cloudy with a nice breeze. So getting some good weather out there. I'm seeing lots of sunshine with just a nice breeze. Kind of a nice fall day out there as we approach closer towards fall. Tracy says it's sunny at Tanner Williams and Schillinger. Mary says that she's watching from Pascagoula. Tracy says Navarre, Florida, getting some good bands. Yeah, I was in Navarre just this past weekend. And we were driving through and we saw that it was double red flags there, but on the other sides of it, if you went closer to Fort Walton Beach or Pensacola Beach, and there's just normal red flags. So not double, but still some very rough surf in both of those places. Rosie says that Mobile is really clouded. I like that joke, Charles. Charles says a female named Storm. You all know she won't decide where to turn until the last minute, then miss her turn. I did see some other jokes like that Marco and her were getting in disagreement about where to go. Jamie says it's cloudy and slightly windy in Mobile around the middle of the airport. Oh, it's raining here now. So at the Fox 10 studios now it is starting to rain. We're just now starting to get it. We're right at I-65 and Government in McGowan Park. Marianne watching from Houston says that it's steamy and muggy with no rain yet. Roderick is watching in Spanish Fort and says it's light rain. Tracy says that she's almost gotten almost 3 inches of rain in Gulf Breeze so far for today. So wow, a lot of rain out there. Just starting to get it here in Mobile County, just in central Mobile County. Fran in Northwest Florida says steady showers so far. Now it's starting to settle down and beginning to drizzle. Lindsay's watching from Slidell, Louisiana. Good luck to you, Lindsay. Louisiana getting a lot more of the activity so far. And Teresa asks, is the next track update at 4? Yes, the next update is coming at 4 o'clock. That'll be the big update. And again, Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith and Matt Barentine will be the ones tracking that. But we'll be doing updates every hour on the hour on Facebook Live, on News Now, and also on air. And that's watching from Lucedale, Mississippi. Jose says it's raining here on DIP. Anna says it's just starting to rain in Mobile. Natasha is watching. And also hello to Teresa. I'm going to reload everything really fast since I always have to exit out and reload here on Facebook Live. I don't know why. Facebook did an update and so it doesn't like that. Well, I don't know if it's going to load again, but I got lucky the first time. But I do wish everyone a fantastic Monday out there. Again, keep updated with us. Make sure you have that Fox 10 app downloaded. There's interactive radar on it, so that way you can see the tracks of the systems with the new updates. You can see where they are, and then also zoom in to wherever you are as well. You can get those live notifications wherever you are in case you are in a watch or a warned area. And also you'll be notified whenever we go on a Facebook Live or just any update again. So I wish everyone a fantastic Monday. Stay dry out there. Stay safe